And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And yes, here we are again another day, committed to being your consumer advocate, all about helping you understand your buying decisions, making you more street smart here as a consumer in the Tampa Bay market. Consumer Quarterback Show. Save our hotline number in your phone. At some point, you may need it. You may want to get a connection to one of our 50-plus show partners here, CPAs, financial advisors, attorneys, all types of great home services as well. Save this number in your phone, 813-750-0550.
You used to call me on my cell
Call
phone.
or text the hotline and give us a call. And also hit up consumerqb.com. You can see links there to all of our expert contributors at consumerqb.com. This segment is brought to you by Replenish IV Solutions. Seems like everybody's looking for a way to boost their immunity these days, and they've got a great opportunity for you here in Tampa Bay. 3 locations. You can also go to your home or office, and if you want to feel energized, hydrated, and replenished, reach out to our friends at Replenish IV Solutions, and they can also come to you. So what it is, it's basically a safe and effective way to restore your body's systems, and it's a direct injection into your bloodstream with vitamins, minerals, all types of great stuff, electrolytes, and of course there's nurses on staff that can help you with that. Replenish IV Solutions, longtime friends of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, we got a hot property listing. Great lineup for you today, by the way, but I want to jump into our hot listing. 1200 Gulf Boulevard, number 1805. This is a penthouse, beachfront condo in Sand Key, Clearwater Beach. Beautiful property right here in Tampa Bay. 1200 Gulf Boulevard, number 1805. Resort-style amenities throughout the building. Pool, hot tubs, pool table room, all types of great entertaining. Plus, of course, you walk out the back door, you walk down the sugar sand beaches over to the dolphin-filled waters of Clearwater Beach right here in Tampa Bay. $2.67 million listing, compliments of the Platinum MVP team. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
This is God's country.
All right, we got a great lineup for you coming up later in the show. Matt DiMaio, he's an author, and he is an expert in the areas of memory. So he can help you learn how to learn faster, teach you how to learn faster. A lot of kids, a lot of students. He's got millions of views on his Facebook, or on his YouTube channel, rather. Really proud of him right here, local friend in Tampa Bay. Also, BRITNEY RUDOLPH on the line from Children's Cancer Center, and Brandon FAUST in studio. So let's make our introductions. Hey, BRITNEY, how are you today?
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. So you are the Director of Marketing and Events for Children's Cancer Center right here in Tampa Bay, one of the best local nonprofit organizations in Tampa Bay.
Yes, I am.
Awesome. Very cool. And we got Brandon FAUST in the studio. I want to introduce Brandon. Brandon, Mold Zero, welcome in.
Thank you for having me. Good times with Brandon Rhymes here in the studio, as always.
I like it. B. Faust in the house. All right, so BRITNEY RUDOLPH. Let's go back to BRITNEY. So, BRITNEY, when people think about Children's Cancer Center, what's your message? What do you want them to know?
I think our message is when a child is diagnosed, the whole family is really diagnosed. So we serve all members of the family, and our catchphrase is that kids need more than medicine to be well. So, they're going to, we hope that research puts us out of business one day, but right now we are serving the families here and now with over 24 support programs to help them emotionally, financially, and educationally through every step of their journey, no matter which way it goes, the fork in the road into survivorship or bereavement. We're really there every step of the way, and they really consider our facility a home away from home. And because it's separate from the hospital, it's the place where they have fun with their friends and they meet kids that are just like them. So it's very, very special place we have here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great organization to support. We allot, some of our show times for local charitable organizations, nonprofit organizations here in Tampa Bay, and Children's Cancer Center is really doing the most good. They do such a good job. They throw awesome events, awesome parties. Talk about some of your parties coming up, or some of your events, I should say.
Yes, it's an event and a party. So we have a few coming up. We are just getting back into the swing of things as the world is opening back up from COVID restrictions. So as that has been happening, we have a few of our rescheduled events, which we're very excited to put on. We actually have an event this Thursday called the Social Society, and it's a speakeasy themed event, and it's going to be live entertainment. Everyone's sitting in lounges and enjoying different speakeasy experiences. We'll do a live auction, and we'll even bring out our kids for a section of the event. So we're very excited to have that event. That's at the Orlo this Thursday, May 6th. We actually have one lounge left, of course, if anyone is interested. So that is going to be the ultimate party. We are really looking forward to that. And then we have Tennis on the Green next Friday, May 14th at Palmacia, and that's in partnership with Panera. They are putting on a tennis match, and then all the guests are going to go watch that. So that's at tennisonthegreen.org. That's going to be, and then it's a tennis match and then a party. So it's on a Friday night, probably more so a tennis match or more so a party, and the tennis match will be just a fun time. And so that's going to be Trey's funds for the Children's Cancer Center, and then we still have a virtual option. So on June 17th, we are having All In for the Kids. So it's a poker tournament, and it's going to be the evening of June 17th. For anyone to participate, no matter where they are, they can log on and play poker. And so that's at allinforthekids.org.
Allinforthekids.org. Very cool. So some really cool events there. Brittney Rudolph here on the line from the Consumer Quarterback Show, Children's Cancer Center. So Thursday, May 6th, that's the one coming up just tomorrow night, 2 nights from now. Live auction right here at Orlo.
Yes.
Speakeasy.
Yes. So we have some really cool things in our live auction. Of course, we're getting creative of not trips that aren't too far, but we have a Napa trip that we are auctioning off. We have a flow rider that you experience that you can do. We have some fishing charters and some cool things like that.
Good. That's awesome. Good to hear. And do you have your Wine, Women, and Shoes event back up?
Yeah, so Wine, Women, and Shoes is usually held the first week of November. We've had to put that on hold with COVID, but we are going to be back up and running this November. We're very excited to get it back. So these events are probably like 100 people, and so we're kind of getting our feet wet again into events, and then up in November we'll be back full steam ahead with, that usually brings in like 600 guests.
Yeah, it was awesome. I had the opportunity to MC that event about 3 or 4 years ago. That was a fun time. Really cool event. Mm-hmm. Really well done. The whole team does a great job over there at Children's Cancer Center. What's the website where you want people to go, Brittney?
childrenscancercenter.org has all of our events that I discussed, and then you can learn more about our mission and what we're doing for local Tampa Bay children and their families diagnosed with cancer.
Excellent. Yep. Keep up the good work. Say hello to Patty and the team over there.
I will.
And let them know we said hello.
We'll have to get you out for one of these events coming up.
Yeah, that's right. I'm so glad you're outdoors doing events and being able to have freedom thanks to our great governor here in Florida, Governor Ron DeSantis, doing a great job.
Us too. We wouldn't want to live anywhere else.
That's right. All right, guys, visit childrenscancercenter.org. Support the home team here, Children's Cancer Center. Seems like almost everybody has someone or knows someone who's been affected with cancer, and we've got a friend going through it right now. So this Children's Cancer Center does such a great job here in Tampa Bay. Thanks a lot, Brittney. We appreciate you calling in.
Thank you.
Hey, my pleasure. All right. So in studio, Brandon Faust in the house, Mold Zero, plus multiple other companies now going on. Let's stay on that same note. We kind of talk about freedom of Florida, and our great governor, came out yesterday, had another mask mandate or eliminating some of the local municipalities. I brought a quote because I thought you might like this quote from Dana White. You watch UFC fighting?
I do.
All right, here's a quote. Charlie Kirk podcast, Dana White we'll kind of lead off with this, talking about masks.
So one person who's effectively fighting back against this, and this is a great example of this, and if everyone got a little bit of Dana White in their daily routine, the world would be a better place. Dana White is the president of UFC, and he had an event with 25,000 people in Tampa, Florida.
It's time to get back to normal. And I know a lot of you guys in the media don't feel exactly the way I do about a lot of things. You can't deny it felt pretty good to be in Florida this week and be normal. If you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. If you don't want to wear a mask, don't wear a mask. And when I saw people wear masks, I didn't say anything to people wear masks. When people saw people that weren't wearing masks, nobody said anything to people that weren't wearing masks. Everybody's just doing their things. You know what? People seem like they're a lot happier down here in Florida than they are in some of these other states.
There's more wisdom from Dana White than the entire Harvard faculty.
I love that quote. More wisdom from Dana White than the entire Harvard faculty. But yeah, kind of starting off with the mask mandate there, on the show. But yeah, you look at what the state of Florida's doing, and people are flocking here. Real estate's booming. Businesses are booming. There's a lot of growth out there. There's also some challenges. But yeah, what a great quote from Dana White.
Yeah, I had a number of my friends that actually spoke at the Pinellas County Commission, their meeting.
That's right.
So, we got guys that are obviously proud Americans and, feel that the whole point of what this country was built upon, which is freedom, is core to who we are and what we do. And it's obvious that Florida is sort of leading the charge as far as that's concerned.
Yeah.
Interesting enough, I actually saw Dana White speak. He was at, I believe it was the Growth Conference with Grant Cardone, 10X,
cool.
right? So 10X number 4.
Yeah.
And he really stole the show. He was a surprise guest. And
really?
It's pretty amazing. You got a fighter like that, but he's an entrepreneur and, drops these nuggets of wisdom. So that was a great experience.
Yeah, very cool. I saw someone sent me the video of that meeting, and I watched the first hour of it, and it was interesting. People coming up just saying, hey, like one of the nurses said something about, we've seen an uptick in strep throat, tremendous uptick in strep throat, and people being forced to wear these masks everywhere they go. It's just unnatural. We're breathing in, and then you had one gentleman that came in, and I really liked him. He said, we know millions of dollars are funneling in because you're continuing to have these mandates in place, so you're getting lots of money from it. But he specifically said, what's $7 million for personnel? What does that line item mean? Can you break that down for us? $7 million for personnel. That just seems like a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, one of these things that obviously there's government graft and there's things that occur where there's kickbacks, and that's never a good thing. It's crucial for businesses and any type of operation that there's a standard of morality and ethics that you need to adhere to.
Exactly.
So that's something that I really try to push with my guys at Mold Zero.
Yeah.
That, no matter what you're doing, there's a level of ethics that you have to adhere to.
Exactly.
Because the industry itself can it sort of caters to some of these guys that maybe their scruples are lacking. Right?
Yeah.
And it's really key that, any relationship is built on trust, and that you're going to actually be able to tell the person what's going on, not, blow it out more than it should be, right? Kind of make it seem worse than it is.
Exactly.
Underestimate it as well, because you don't want the person to then think that they don't really have a situation, but then they do, because then that can lead to whatever health problem. So you want to be thorough, and you want to be accurate, and you want to be as honest as you possibly can.
Yeah.
With your clients.
Absolutely. When we come back, I want to talk to you about that. How to select the right contractor when interviewing contractors. Lots of people are looking for home repairs. We're talking to Mold Zero here today. They might have mold in their home. What's the process that a homeowner and a consumer should look at when hiring a contractor? I want to ask Brandon Faust that here coming up on the show. Plus, we have a feel-good story of the day. Middle school student makes classmates' dream come true during recess. Stay with us. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
My friends, when choosing a listing agent to sell your home, their track record is critically important. Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rhymes, owners of Platinum MVP Team at Keller Williams Real Estate. They're consistently rated by the MLS in the top 1% of all Tampa Bay realtors, and that's a big deal. Brandon and Lindsay are always among the top realtors in the state. Call them today at 813-750-0550.
Find them at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Selling commercial or residential property? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP Team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. Reach me at 813-670-7372 or platinummvpteam.com.
My name is James DeJerome, and I produce the Consumer Quarterback Show for Brandon Rhymes. The Consumer Quarterback Show is a team, a group of like-minded professionals who partner together to provide our audience sound advice, knowledge, and information to make them wiser consumers. We work with all types of business owners and aggressively promote our local economy. We're currently conducting interviews for our expert contributors. If you own a business or know someone who would benefit from the exposure our show provides, please contact us at 813-750-0550 or online at consumerqb.com.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you win in any marketplace. That is our goal on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We got Brandon Faust, Mold Zero in studio. We're going to talk about contractors, how to select the proper contractor, and also more about things happening within his organization. Coming up as well, Matt DiMaio. He's an author, educator, and a memory expert. He's got some really cool books out, and his YouTube channel is really awesome as well. So he's going to be with us here on the show coming up. I've got some hot land available, vacant land available for sale here in Tampa Bay, 304 East Waters Avenue. This is a lot of vacant land for sale, corner lot location in Tampa, close to I-275, 304 East Waters Avenue. Great opportunity to own real estate here in Tampa Bay. And 513 Rose Place in Pinellas Park. This is an affordable entry-level home. And 5103 Rose Place, Pinellas Park, is a property that's available in Pinellas County here in Tampa Bay, Pinellas Park in Tampa Bay. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, Brandon Faust, Mold Zero, what's happening in that space? And then also, you know, when you look at people, a lot of times even like HVAC contractors or different contractors come to the home, and that's where you go to your ethics, you know, to do the right thing. But we know they don't, because we see the different write-ups and the sting reports of these different folks that are running businesses. And, especially now with more and more people moving from out of state down to Florida, it's like, oh, this is the wild, wild west. It's a second chance for these people coming out of state to come down and kind of do those same types. So how can we be protected as consumers?
Yeah, I think it's a great question to ask, and ultimately, I think there's a number of things really that you want to look for. First and foremost is that the person you're dealing with, are they competent?
Right.
Are they knowledgeable? Do they really understand the science of their industry, or did they get into the industry just to make a few bucks, right? But if you have a guy who really understands the industry he's in, he understands the science behind it, he's going to be able to figure out solutions where others may not. Maybe they have just sort of learned from watching somebody else, but they don't really understand all the intricacies of it, and that allows them to then solve a problem that they may not normally deal with on a day-to-day basis. The other thing, are they responsible? The truth of the matter is, as contractors, we're not always going to do a perfect job every time, but do we take responsibility for our mess up? Are we going to jump on it if somebody doesn't follow through? One of the technicians, every single one of us run into a situation, we're hiring people, they don't always do exactly what they were instructed to do. I would love it if that was the case, but it's not always the case. But is the owner operator or the executive over operations, are they going to jump on it if there's something that goes awry and then take responsibility for it? Obviously, it goes without saying that these guys are insured, that they have all their legal rudiments in, if you will, right? That's a key thing. Do they have good reviews? Do they have more than 5 or 6 or 10? Because they can always get their friends to write good reviews. But do they have a consistent performance of, good reviews showing that they do take responsibility for their work, right? Fair prices. I'm not necessarily saying that somebody should be the cheapest, right? And sometimes it may be the most expensive, but you are paying for something in terms of the exchange and the value, and is it ultimately worth it? I know Mold Zero, we're not the most expensive for sure. We're definitely not the cheapest, but we're going to give you the best service for your dollar. Right. They can get myself, one of the owners on the phone if something's going awry. I let my guys know that. We have 30 staff. Obviously I like to follow the organization chart to make the people that are there responsible for their position. But ultimately, the buck stops here. I'm going to make sure that they're taken care of, and that if there's something that we messed up on, that we're responsible for that. And I think that's something that you should find in any contractor, right? That the owner is willing to be responsible for the performance of his team. Right. And also,
that's key.
And responsive. I think that's another thing that separates a business. Are they quick to return your call? Maybe they can't take your call at that moment in time, but do they let you know, hey, I'm going to get back to you, and then they actually do get back to you?
Right.
To me, if somebody says they're going to show up and then they don't show up on that date, that's a red flag.
Exactly.
If, let's say, they have an appointment for 11 o'clock, they're going to be there at 11:30. Okay, they give a call ahead of time saying, hey, I just want to let you know I'm running a bit behind, right? Is that okay with you? Does that work for you? Right? Those are the types of things that I would really look for in a contractor. Responsible, ethical, fair prices, not necessarily the lowest, competent and knowledgeable, good reviews, responsive, that's
communication's key in any business, and
100%.
And being in the people business, no matter what business you're in the people business. So that makes a lot of sense. Now, are you experiencing also a staffing crisis? I mean, some of our contractors are saying, man, we've got jobs open. We're trying to fill these jobs. We're trying to expand and grow. We're having tremendous problem finding good people to fill these positions.
I'm not, but I feel really fortunate in that particular area. I think that also might have to do with my background, because, I was in the sort of recruiter space before coming over to Mold Zero. And I've always been good at finding good people, attracting good people, and being able to look past. I have this one guy who's, a big burly dude with a long beard, right? He looks like a Viking. And he's got tattoos all over the place, right? Yeah. And I sat down with him. I talked to him. I got his vibe. I found out where he was at. And he's been amazing for us, right? He's done a great job. So, he's got two daughters. So maybe he was in one place, when he was younger, but he's turned a leaf, and now he is really there to perform, right? And I have other guys that really they're not clocking in, clocking out. They believe in what we're doing, right? Because I think that part of it is in this particular industry, in mold in particular, you're actually really helping people, because you're removing something that is toxic to the person, and it's toxic in their environment. So that you're not just fixing a home, you're ultimately removing something that could really help the person. Yeah. So I have great sort of buy-in from my guys, and we have a great team. And it doesn't mean that we're not looking for, other guys that can be part of that team. But if they don't fit into that culture, they stand out like a sore thumb. Right. If they're slow, lethargic, they're not really on top of it, right? I don't hold on to those guys, because I want guys that are performers. I want guys that really care about their job. And, by doing that, we've put together a great team that attracts other great people.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's key when you're running a business, is finding those people that are, almost like almost like an employment. I heard a Brian Tracy book. He kind of broke it down as like the entrepreneurial mindset versus a corporate type mindset. The corporate type thinks, what does the company owe me? Or I'm going to leave 5 minutes early. I'm going to come 5 minutes late. And then by the way, I'm going to go take 5 coffee breaks. I'm going to be texting when I shouldn't. When I should be doing company work. Things of that nature. And then on the opposite side is kind of that intrapreneur. It's an intrapreneur. He's looking for a way to get the job done better.
100%.
How can he, contribute, he or she contribute to the company and looking for ways to help the company grow and spreading the word on social media, et cetera. Going above and beyond. That's a theme that you find with those entrepreneurial type, those intrapreneurial types as well. More from Brandon Faust here, Mold Zero. Matt DiMaio coming up, as well as our feel-good story. Middle school students take classmates' dream and make it come true right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Chris Voss, former FBI lead hostage negotiator and owner of the Black Swan Group, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
And
I've got Matt on the line.
Hey, Matt.
Well, hey there.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing really well, thank you. Better now that I'm speaking with you.
Good. Good to hear it, my friend.
My only concern, Brandon, is that it sounds like it's on a speakerphone.
Okay, Matt, are you on a speakerphone or are you directly into the phone?
No, I'll come off speaker. It just looks weird. Okay.
Okay, perfect.
Is that better?
I think so. We'll just go with it because we're pretty behind right now, and I've got meetings piling up for the show.
On your rundown, though, you got.
All right, here we go, Jose.
Alrighty, everyone, please stand by.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, top 1% ranked realtor in Tampa Bay. We've got a great team here in Tampa Bay helping you win in your real estate deals, buying, selling, or investing. Reach out to to us. We would love to talk to you. Save our hotline number in your phone. At some point, you may need us. We've got 50 different show partners, 80 categories of consumer advocate content and advice in areas that we can help provide great contacts for you. We want to be that super connector and put you in touch with whatever you need out there in the industry. It's attorneys, CPAs, financial advisors, all types of great home services related companies. Reach out to the hotline, 813-750-0550. And that's a number you might want to save in your phone just so you have it in the future. Just hit send on it, hit save. 750-0550. Call or text the hotline. Also, consumerqb.com. Plethora of information available for you on our website at consumerqb.com. You can see links there to all of our expert contributors right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. I got a hot listing out in East County here. We've got a Plant City property, 6513 South County Line Road. This is 5 acres, MOL, right here in Tampa Bay. Build your dream home right here on this beautiful property. And you've got also opportunity to build another structure. You could build a barn or some type of an outbuilding as well. 6513 South County Line Road. Beautiful land, some nice property available for sale right here in Tampa Bay. Compliments of the Platinum MVP team. Also got a lot for sale in Palm Harbor, 516 Alt 19. This is right off of Alternate 19 in Palm Harbor, and it's 516 Alt 19. Great opportunity, again, to build. This is a home, great opportunity for a business. So you can build your business here, build a building, potentially put some rental units in there as well, have your tenants pay your mortgage. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
And a quick shout out to Chad Irrigation right here in Tampa Bay. Access your lake water, do all of the sprinkler systems, irrigation systems. Chad Irrigation right here in Tampa Bay. One of our friends of the program here, Victor and his team, they do a great job. I can tell you from firsthand experience, they showed up, the job was done, they were in and out complete. And now that I run my sprinklers, I'm not pulling in that more expensive city water. I'm using the lake water to water my lawn. So Victor and his team, Chad Irrigation, give them a call. Make sure you let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. All right, in studio, Brandon Faust, Mold Zero. And coming up as well, we've got Matt DiMaio on the show as well. He's an author, he's an educator, and a memory expert right here in Tampa Bay. I want to go back to Brandon. Brandon, tell us a bit more about the vertical integration that you've added and some of the tips that you may have for our consumers out there.
Sure. I mean, we really started as a company just based on our name. It indicates Mold Zero, right? So we were hyper-focused on mold, but quickly realized that there was so much more to the industry than, let's say, just the dry fogging. Obviously, what comes before that? Well, it's going to be floods, right? And making sure that water is not getting into the home, water intrusion issues. So we ended up getting all the equipment necessary for doing emergency dry out. We have a division of Mold Zero, which is Flood Zero. So if a customer has a water situation, they're a foot high in water, or even a sewer backup, right? We have a truck that can extract the nasty water. So they can call 727 no water. Really easy to remember. 727 no water. We're going to make sure that the leading cause, that really the only cause of mold, is water. So that is removed and it's properly dried out.
Yeah.
Another aspect of it, we find clients that have a musty home. They don't know where it's coming from. We crawl under the home. They have a crawl space. Well, it turns out that they have a huge mold nest, under the bottom of their home. Well, just based on the nature of the air pressure, it comes in from the bottom. It goes up through the entire home. So it's going to bring in spores. It's going to bring in toxic gas that the mold is releasing. So you really want to make sure that your crawl spaces are properly addressed. Right. That means a vapor barrier potentially. It means fans and a dehumidification system, which we're also now doing. It means removing the mold from the subfloor, right, from basically the bottom up, so that mold isn't continuing to off-gas into your home, causing health problems.
I imagine those crawl space homes like you find in the Seminole Heights or South Tampa area, those homes are more prone to that.
100%. And you walk in and you hear, oh, that's just that old Florida smell. Yeah, that old Florida smell, that's called mold. If it's musty, it's moldy.
The old Florida smell.
Yeah, and it's really something else, and people, they don't really see it, so they think it's not a problem. Because most people think, well, if I see it, then it's a problem. Well, they're not getting under their crawl space and looking at all the green and white fuzz that they have on their planks that is now, coming into their home, right, and making it toxic. So we really came in from that, not just from the perspective of a water loss and emergency sort of service kind of remediation company, but more for the, physical well-being of the client. What are the areas that people may not be seeing, may not be finding because it's not directly connected to a leak or, the AC overflowing or something along those lines. But absolutely the crawl spaces is a huge problem with these old homes. Yeah. And it's not that it can't be handled. Don't get me wrong. If you find a house you really like and it has a crawl space, then great. You want to weatherproof it. You want to waterproof it so it's not a problem and get rid of what might be there. It's pretty easy to solve, and we do that now. Right? Yeah. Here's another piece of advice for the snowbirds that are, leaving town right now. We're getting into that season where a lot of guys are leaving town, right? The rainy, hot, humid season. Make sure you don't set your AC at 82 degrees. Yeah. Okay, if your humidity is over 61% and you come back, 3-4 months later, you're going to have a garden when you come home. And that garden is a toxic garden. Okay, so you want to have that AC set at about 79. So at least, and it's on auto, it kicks on, goes off, kicks on. It helps to pull water out of the air. Yeah. The AC does two things. It cools the home off, and it also pulls water out of the air. So, it's a really crucial thing because that's an expensive problem, because what ends up happening is mold not only starts growing on the walls, it starts growing on luggage, clothes, shoes, everywhere. So that's another add-on that we basically put in place, which is content handling, right? Because you don't want to throw all that stuff away, right? If you have $1,000 Coach purse that's got fuzz on it, maybe somebody might throw it away, but we could also handle it. We actually have a high-end, high-tech washing machine that uses hydraulic pressure to get to the core of the actual problem, and it basically makes it good as new. Wow. And I've had some bags that I actually had in storage had that same problem where mold was growing on it. I wanted to test it. I wanted to test it on my own gear before I put anybody else's stuff through it. And, my contents specialist did it. The bags came out good. They looked better. They looked as good as they did the day I bought them. Wow. I was really impressed with the quality of the content handling that we do.
That's awesome, Brandon. And if you just joined us, we're talking with Brandon Faust here on the QB Show. Mold Zero is his company. He also got Flood Zero and other subsidiaries where he helps, all those types of situations where, that can be a challenge. When you think about the medical side, because we've talked about in the past, sometimes people they don't understand it, they don't really fully embrace what could happen if there is mold behind the drywall or under the baseboards. And you've had multiple situations where doctors have referred you. They said, hey, we've looked at everything else. You need to have your house checked for mold.
Completely. It's really, I wasn't expecting to get involved in that space at all when I first got into this. Right, but it just started to, show up through the leads that we were getting in. It was coming from doctors that were more taking a holistic approach, trying to find the root cause of the problem. Right. And mold toxicity is one of those things that they start checking for. And they wanted a company that would really treat the entire building envelope and not just a spot treatment. Because if you've had a mold in your home, it doesn't just stay there, right? And it's been off-gassing, releasing spores for the last month, 6 months, year, who knows how long. So you really have to not only handle the source, but also the air that is running through the ducts, running through the entire home. Right. So Mold Zero does have a proprietary process where we can really we fog at a level that, I see the other fogging systems that are talked about. It's not even, there's no comparison. That's kind of the best way to put it. There's really zero comparison in terms of what we're using. When we're using a non-toxic product, a hydrogen peroxide and commercial grade vinegar product, we fill the entire volume of the space so that we're not only handling the surface mold or the area where the mold was originating from, but the entire building envelope, if you will.
The visible and non-visible, in the space, in the air, especially if it's a vaulted ceiling roof, a large space. And I think a lot of people are happy to hear that it's just it's non-chemicals, it's all basic ingredients like vinegar and hydrogen peroxide, pretty basic.
That's right.
Safe stuff.
It's brilliant. It's been used to actually sanitize hospitals and clean rooms since 2003. Yeah. The product that we've been using and the system.
Nice.
But it was just basically set up to be more robust and rugged. Rugged is the right word, where we can move it from home to home in a quick, fogging. We also do the traditional remediation as well. If we have to do the tear out of contaminated material, we do that. And, we've had to gut a whole home. They had a black mold problem, but we always go off of an independent inspector's guidance when we do that. So,
Perfect.
They are giving us direction on what needs to come out, just so there's no conflict of interest. And we're, again, going back to being honest, responsible, ethical, and doing the right thing for the client.
That's right. And a third-party inspector is going to make sure it's viable. It's issues that need to be addressed.
Right.
Brandon Faust coming up. More from Brandon in our lightning round. We've got Matt DiMaio on the line. Matt, I want to bring you on just to give us a little teaser on the other side of this break. We got to take a break here, but give us a little teaser of what you're going to talk about. And it's very interesting. One of your videos, how to absorb textbooks like a sponge, has surpassed 6 million views now on YouTube. That's quite an accomplishment.
It sure has. And, we are coming into the summer school season right now for a lot of students. And also, at this time, a lot of companies have brand new employees that have to go in for testing. So what I want to do is talk about how to make sure that your students are set up for success come the fall season and that your employees pass those exams that they've got to take.
I love that. All right, coming up, more from Matt DiMaio, author, educator, memory expert as well. And IncredibleMemory.com is the new website, and IncredibleMemory.com. And also his YouTube channel, Be Smarter Faster, is his YouTube channel. More from Matt coming up right on the other side of this. More from Brandon Faust as well in our lightning round. Plus, our feel-good story of the day, middle school students make classmates' dream come true during recess. Stay with us. Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
This is Diane Vance with Fairway Independent Mortgage, a member of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Please give me a call for any of your mortgage needs. We do all sorts of loans. If you would like information on a mortgage, you can text me or call me at 727-647-8199. I will take care of all your mortgage needs. Go to my website at dianevance.com.
Ian Beckles here with my man, Brandon Rhymes, a.k.a. the Real Estate Quarterback. Brandon, what's happening with the market?
Thanks, Ian. We are in a low inventory market, so any of our listeners are homeowners and would like a free comparable market analysis or a 2.5% listing, we will honor this for the first 3 listeners who call or text in 813-773-1253. Free CMA and a 2.5% real estate listing at 813-773-1253.
Check out ConsumerQB.com. Selling commercial or residential property? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. Reach me at 813-670-7372 or PlatinumMVPteam.com.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes, Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you win in any marketplace. As we say, every day we tell you something positive here in our feel-good story of the day.
Tell me something good.
All right, so a middle school teacher in Detroit posted a video of her students at recess that will restore your faith in humanity. The students are playing tag football, and when they give the ball to a student in an electric wheelchair and allow him to roll in for a touchdown. Sometimes people think I'm crazy for teaching middle school, and then sometimes this happens, was quoted Katie Bigar, who captioned the video. Bigar is a 6th grade teacher at Detroit Lakes Middle School, says her students treat Kale Hannons with compassion and kindness every day. And it's kind of a weird age. We think of these things and sometimes underestimate our own kids. But the video was 100% kid orchestrated. That was them being fun. They treated Kale that way every day. And Kale has cerebral palsy. but has always been dreamed of being a football player and actually had the dream come true. And he actually told some of his friends about the dream, and they made it happen. So there's a feel-good story coming out of Detroit, Michigan, from awesome middle school kids. Sometimes we do think differently when people. I can imagine teaching middle school, right? But what an awesome story coming out of a middle school in Detroit.
Absolutely.
So feel-good story of the day. And Matt DiMaio, let's go to Matt. So Matt, tell us what you've been up to. I love the idea. We're going into this season, seasonally appropriate advice here. Summer school, employee testing, and you have, lots of resources for folks.
Brandon, the ability to learn things fast. School tells you what to learn, but they don't really teach you how to learn it. And that's what I specialize in. If you think about it, your teacher will wag their finger at you and tell you, pay attention. And almost nobody's ever taken a class on how to pay attention or how to listen.
Right.
They tell you, prepare for the test or, study this book. And they don't really give you the mechanics of how to go about doing that. And that's really what, at this stage of my life, what I've been really dedicating myself to. And at this point, on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Be Smarter Faster, I just surpassed 146,000 subscribers, literally from all over the world. I have people sending me testimonials who have names that cannot be spelled with our alphabet.
Yeah, that's quite an accomplishment. That's so awesome, man. That's amazing.
Millions of views, and in March I turned 69 years old, and so I never really expected to become a YouTuber.
Yeah, right.
at this age, and we've got. I don't know about you, but 1 year in high school, I actually had to take summer school because I was terrible in algebra, and I remember what that felt like having to go back to summer school. Well, wouldn't it be great for those of you that are parents or grandparents to be able to help your kids or grandkids out by giving them the skills that they need, that when the school semester starts back up again, they're really prepared. Yeah. They know just what to do. It's like when you were in football. Football season started. You didn't just show up for the game.
Right.
When the season started, you were preparing during the summer to get the skills necessary to really excel.
Exactly.
And with memory, here are some of the advantages. Here are some of the benefits. This is not just for students. It's for everybody and anybody who wants to learn anything faster and easier. Look, we live in a world of information overload. Information is coming at us faster and faster, and it's hard to figure out how to absorb it. Most people haven't ever really learned what the skills are. They think, well, some people have a good memory and some people don't. That's just not the case.
Yeah.
This is more like learning how to ride a bicycle.
Or they do worse. They do. Sorry to interrupt, but a lot of people do worse than that. Instead of, they say how bad their memory is, right, Matt? We've talked about this before. Oh, I can never remember names. Like, why are we telling ourselves this?
You really nailed it. A lot of, what passes for bad memory is really bad self-talk.
Self-talk.
And you live up to your own worst expectations.
Exactly.
And, if you're always telling yourself, I can't do a thing, well, then you're giving yourself an easy out. You're predicting the future. And with a good memory, there's some surprising benefits. For example, you not only get better grades for those of you that are in school, but for those of you in business, you get to make more money. Think about being in control of facts and figures and details. Think about what it would be like at any meetings that you're running with your company. You'll be able to have instant and full comprehension and recall of all of the important details. Maybe it's information on your spreadsheet, your balance sheet. Not only that, but think about how people look at you. When you can walk into a room and recall the names of whether it's all your employees or all of the people that you're in the Chamber of Commerce with, or that you join at Rotary, or what have you at these different networking events, people treat you with more respect They admire somebody that can remember people's names.
Yeah.
And it does wonders for your own self-confidence. It makes it unshakable.
Yeah, I love that. And the 6 million views, how to absorb textbooks like a sponge. Can you give us a tip out of there? Give us just a little tip
Sure.
and takeaway.
Absolutely. When people typically read a textbook, they treat it the same way they treat a novel. You start at the beginning of chapter 1 and you read chapter 1 all the way through. Now, if you're reading this novel for English lit class and you've got to take notes, maybe you're underlining or highlighting. Well, that's a waste of time. That's not the way to go about it. With a textbook, the first thing that you want to do is give yourself multiple previews of what's in that chapter. And the way you do that is just quickly look at each page in the chapter. You go through page by page. Then the next thing you do is you take a look and see if there's a quiz at the end of that chapter, because that's the author telling you what they say you're supposed to get out of that chapter. Now you've kind of given yourself a target. Now you know what you're shooting at. Now you know what to look for as you're going through it. And so I give you a few different steps. The next step is to go back and look at the illustrations and all the bold print. And then I have you go back to the beginning of the chapter again and just read the first and last sentence in each paragraph. So what you've done is you've now given yourself multiple previews. So your brain is now set up to absorb the actual information. And then now you go back to the beginning of the chapter and now you read it, but you take handwritten notes.
Yeah.
Rather than underlining or highlighting, taking handwritten notes does wonders. Now, the results of using this technique, now some people think, well, that takes longer to do, what I just suggested. The truth is, it's way shorter than having to go back and read the whole chapter over and over and over again and still doing lousy on the test.
I like it. Let's
With
jump
my
into our
system, you
lightning
go through
round.
it once.
Sorry, Matt. We got just a couple of minutes left. We're going to get our lightning round tips in here real quick, my friend.
The lightning round!
I am so good at lightning rounds!
I majored in lightning rounds.
All right, Brandon Faust, give us a quick tip.
Sure. Mold needs water, right? So make sure that your home is waterproofed. Look at your gutters. Make sure, I just spent a couple hours on my roof making sure that my gutters were cleared out, from all the leaves falling. I think you have a sponsor, a partner that does gutters.
Yes.
That'd be a good person to call right about now. Make sure that the water is draining away from the house. But if you don't have water, you're not going to have mold. That also means humidity. So you got to look at all the different places water may come from. Your ducts sweating. So you want to make sure your AC is set at about, during the summer between 75 and 78. You don't really want it too cool because the ducts will sweat. If you have it at 82, your humidity is going to go out the roof. So
Perfect.
Waterproof your home.
All right, good stuff. Matt, back to you. Got about a half a minute for you. 30 seconds, my friend.
Well, if you want to be able to make your life easier, make more money, be more respected and admired, and get better grades either for you or for your kids, then go to anincrediblememory.com. And what you'll find there are short videos. It's all bite-sized information that'll teach you specifics on how to overcome absent-mindedness, how to remember names, how to remember numbers. It'll give you all the answers you're looking for.
Nice. All right, good stuff. Hey, awesome, Matt. Thanks so much for joining us. Brandon Faust, awesome always. And we had BRITNEY RUDOLPH as well from Children's Cancer Center on the show earlier. We want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community. And we'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And make sure you check out consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for The Consumer Quarterback Show.